Hey everyone, it's Jason here again. It's been a long time since I posted a video. The other videos you see on my channel are very editing heavy, and I just couldn't keep up with all the editing anymore. I thought this would be better, and it also counts as like a face reveal because I haven't shown my face on this channel yet. And for all my 9 subscribers, y'all can see my face if y'all still watch this video. But regardless, I wanted to do something a little different in this video. What I really wanted to focus on was kind of getting deep and down into the nitty-gritty of how I was able to reach the top 1% of income for my age group. I'm 24 years old, right? The top 1% of income, I'll put it on screen somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it was like 130,000 a year. That's the top 1% income for my age, or 120,000. I don't know, it'll be on screen. Basically, I was able to break into that 1%. And I want to go over how I did that, right? I know many of us might want to reach something similar to that one day. We always dream about it. And now that I'm here, I still don't feel like I'm making money. It feels like you always don't have anything. But that's how it is, you know. Everything you make, you reinvest to grow, right? So in my journey to reach this place, it started way back when I was like 17 and 18. Right back then, I was just really focused on building my credit because I thought, well, if one day I want to buy a house, one day I want to get a car, whatever, I need good credit. That's how the world works. I watched videos back then by Graham Stephan, Bia Heza. They're great resources if you want to watch their videos. Humphrey Yang was really good to me. Watching his content helped me a lot. But regardless, that's what started my journey. I got into building credit cards such as Chime. I got into Capital One, cash secured credit cards, right? Just to carefully build my credit. Only using those credit cards to build my credit and nothing else, right? That was my big step one. After that step one though, that's whenever it really got into, okay, now I actually need to make money, right? So what do I do? Well, there's so much things I could do, but the path I went down, which is not for everybody, but I studied electrical engineering in college, right, in university. And thank God I'm done with all that mess, because man, that was the busiest years of my life by far. Like I could barely keep up with all the work I needed to do. But getting scholarships to go to school, scholarships paid for my school, I think at the end of every year I could see my total come down from like $30,000 in tuition or whatever, all the fees, right? Come down to me getting deposited $5,000 or $6,000 a year or semester, depending on how much scholarships I applied for the previous year, you know? So that helped me a bunch. That's how I was really able to go to school and study engineering, right? And I was able to graduate with my major in electrical engineering. And I had interned with the company for 2 years before that, right? When I graduated, they offered me a job, and I'm working with that company to date. So the salary in engineering starts out pretty high. So you can, people might think that's kind of cheating to say like, okay, well, of course you're going to be in a higher income if you're an engineer. But my point is that that's the path I took to reach this income level, right? And I'll let you know that my engineering salary alone is not what's making me be at the 1% of income earners for my age group. That would probably put me in the top 75%, but not 1% by far. So my next step after getting that was I graduated, I got the job, and then I thought, okay, I need to get a house. I need to get some sort of investment property, something, right? So I had saved my money over time, over years. I traded stocks, and I know many people think that's really risky, and it is, but I tried to be smart about it all the time, and that put me in a position where I was really able to save up money while I was in college. I was working while I was in college as well. And when I graduated, I started earning so much more, but my means was still down here, college student level age. So I saved up a lot of my income there, and then I was able to get an investment property. My first house was a duplex, and I currently live in it today. I got a duplex where I rented out one side to a tenant and I live in the other. So that brought down my personal living expenses down by half, but I still had this whole property. I used an FHA loan, which is referred to as a first-time homebuyer loan, but it's not necessarily for first-time homebuyers. You just can only have one of those loans at a time, and it's where you get to put a 3.5% or 3% down on a property of 1, 2, 3, or 4 plex. So it's a really great way to get your foot into the door in a big investment property, right? In my case, it was a duplex. In your case, I don't know, you might go for just a house, right? A single family home if that's what you need. But I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I can do that and I had that job. So it gave me a really high income, right? Like to be able to show for when I wanted to get this property. And getting that property, I put it on Zillow, I rented it out. I leased the other side to a tenant that currently lives there, and he's great. I went through a good screening process with him. I did a credit check, and then I also did background check and verification of employment, like verification of income. And everything seemed to mark. I got a lot of people that applied, but this one guy in particular that's currently living there, he checked all the boxes for me, and he's been a great tenant ever since. So I rented it out to him at about 60 or 70% of my expenses to live here. So then all of a sudden that boosted my income. But at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily making more because living in a duplex is more expensive than living in a single family home. That's why I say that I might be making a higher income, but I'm not necessarily feeling like I'm making a lot because I still have a lot of expenditures, right? So now we'll resume them here in a bit. Okay, so I have some stocks money that I saved up. I had some my engineering salary, and then I have my rental property. Okay, that was enough to put me probably in the top 10%, right, of income for my age group. 24 years old, I was 23 when I first rented the property out, and then I turned 24 like a month later. So we're just kind of 24. I've been 24 longer, not longer. They're all a year. I've been 24, the most recent time to date. So we'll go off of 24. Okay. Once I became that top 10% of earners with those three income sources I mentioned, I have a lot of time. So I was like, you know what? Instead of just spending time away on social media or doing other things that maybe don't benefit me as much, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna start a company. What I'm gonna do? What kind of company though? I don't know. Like, you know, I feel like we're all overwhelmed. What do we start? What do we do? What's the next big idea? So I wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel and be another Mark Zuckerberg and start a Facebook or anything. I just looked up online what are like very high earning skills, right? And I saw like video editing is a very high earning skill because right now this video editing is so needed. It's in such high demand. Even I'm having an editor do this editing for me on this video. So that just goes to show that editing is very high demand. That's one high demand skill. Me personally, editing takes a lot of time. If you see the previous videos on my channel, you'll see how much editing goes into all that, and man, that's hours of editing. So I personally didn't want to do video editing like as a company or anything. So I looked up other high earning skills. I saw web design, and I saw social media content creation, you know, like what I'm doing now. But I chose, you know what, web design is going to be my company. So I started a company and where I make websites, but then it's like, okay, I start the company, but now what? You know, I don't know. I guess I got to go find clients. I got to go find people to sell my service to, right? So I would go out during my lunch breaks at my job or in the afternoon once I got out. I would go to my local businesses and say, hey, I am a web developer, a web designer. I'll make you a website, and we can close on an amount that you're comfortable with, and I am too. I need to still make money doing this, right? And that's how I started getting my first clients in this. Okay, so that's the quick story, right? But let's backtrack just a little bit because I'm sure some of you guys are like, well, did you just know how to do web design, or did you learn it in college while you're doing your engineering classes? Well, actually, no, I did not. I had no idea. I mean, you know, I know programming, right? You learn programming and engineering, but you don't learn how to build a website for electrical engineering, right? You learn electronic components, you know, you learn power, you learn all that stuff. So what I did is I looked up YouTube videos and I looked up like 8-hour course of web design, different web design. I looked up like Shopify is a really easy one. People make Shopify websites, right? That's very easy, but not very customizable. And when I saw a statistic online, I was like, wow, that's it. I think it's like 40 something percent of all websites that exist today are built on WordPress. So WordPress with HTML and CSS, right? So I was like, I need to learn that if that is the majority. So I looked up 8-hour WordPress full course. And that's an 8 hour, it took me like maybe 2-3 weeks to be able to watch it all to completion, understanding it and following it step by step. And I did that over when I would get out of work or during my lunch breaks at work. I would watch that, I would study it, and I learned this high earning skill of web design. So then that made me really be able to get ahead, right? To start my company. Once I went out to find clients, like I had just mentioned, well, now I already had that skill, you know? And learning all these other different ways I can make websites, it helped me be able to tailor the web design to the business, right? If it was an e-commerce brand that needed a web design, well, I personally would be like, this is a Shopify website. It's not a WordPress website. Shopify is just so well integrated for e-commerce. You know, a local business, for example, a flower shop, Squarespace has beautiful websites, right? So I made them a Squarespace site. Another business I've made them, a tax business, right? I made that on WordPress because that really needs a lot of functionalities, right? You need to have so much communication, you have so much places to upload documents, you need a lot of stuff and it goes into a tax business. So I built that on WordPress. And you know, watching all these videos, scouring, doing research on this high earning skill is really how I was able to sell the service. And that company I still run to date. It's kind of just a one-man show right now. I do my best to find more business, and even now the business I have keeps me really busy, and it's been almost a year now. So that business is what kind of catapulted me from being in the top 10% of income earners in my age group to the top 1%. Selling that service, and especially because web design is really, really good for income as far as passive income. I still need to work to make more money every month, right? But web design, you kind of get people on a recurring basis, right? Because once the website's up, there's hosting and maintenance that goes into that, and updates, and you know, the website needs to keep going. It can't just be like left alone for a long time. So then I offer that I will host and maintain for a monthly fee, or they can take it over if they would like. So that really keeps my company on a recurring income. So at the end of the day, my income is not completely to my name. Some of it's to that company that I started. How many streams of income were they? Okay, we had the rental property, my engineering salary, my web company, and my stock trading. These 4 sources of income are the main reasons how I was able to reach that top 1% of income. And if you guys want me to do a deep dive on any specific one, I can't really do it in this video, or else this video would be like 2 hours long. But if you guys want to see just a video of, for example, doing the whole rental property process, or just a web design process, or if you want to see engineering school process, or some stock trading tips, right? Just let me know in the comments. Like, give this video a like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys would want to learn, you know, because I see there's a lot of hustle culture in the internet right now, you know, finding different ways to make money online, and finding different ways to make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And I guess I could say I'm part of it because I keep working on stuff like that too. Even right now, making this YouTube video, like I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I did before these previous videos I've edited, but even jumping in to make this video right now was a pretty big step for me. And if everything goes well, maybe this may be another source of income I have in the future, right? But yeah, it's good to say hi to you guys again. And that was my quick breakdown on my multiple streams of income that threw me into the top 1% of earners for my age group at 24 years old. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you guys want any more information, just, you know, shoot me a comment there and ask me if you guys want to see more of whichever topics we went over. I'm always happy to answer any questions. And then also, you guys might give me questions, right? You guys might type. If you guys have any tips for me, that helps me a bunch too. So great talking to you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. That is going to be, I'm planning on doing videos every week now. Hopefully it works out that way, to just talk about different financial topics, and over time, the editing on these videos will get better. I'll find a style to really curate my content to. At the moment, I just thought I need to get started. So that's what I'm doing. For now, guys, I'll see you later. Hit the like, share this video, subscribe, and remember, guys, that Jesus loves you guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.